So I wanted to show you how there is a certain intersection between the Monei Nebuchim and the Agadot of Hazal. So I'm going to read a very well-known Gemara, Masechet Berakhot Vav, and I'm going to show you how it's usually explained. I'm going to tell you then the correct explanation, and then I'm going to tell you the explanation al pi hasod. אמר רבי חלבו, אמר רבונה, כל הקובע מקום לתפילתו, אלוהי אברהם, יהיה בעזרו. If a person, he sets a place for his tefillah, then the God of Avraham Avinu is going to be helping that person. Because the derasha would be, because Avraham did exactly that. And God was with Avraham Avinu. So if you're going to emulate Avraham Avinu and do what Avraham Avinu did, which is kovea makom letefillah, the same way God helped Avraham, He would help you. That's the derasha, more or less. וכשמת אומרים עליו, חסיד, ענב, מתלמידיו של אברהם אבינו. So the zechut is that also when this individual dies, the hesped is going to be a special hesped, that they're going to associate this person who's kovea makom letfilato as a talmid, associate him with the talmidim of Avraham Avinu. Okay, Avraham ben Allah de kava makom. Okay, so now, how do we know that Avraham Avinu was kovea makom letfilato? Tichtiv, ויגשכם אברהם בבוקר אל המקום אשר עמד שם מפני אדוני. So this is after the wife of Lot looks in back of Arvatain Nesiv Melach, right after it says that Avraham Avinu woke up in the morning and he returned back to the place where he was. So, and it says Asher Amad Sham, and the Gemara says Amida is tefillah. How do we know that Amida is tefillah? Because it says Vayamud Pinechas Vayfalel. So here we see Amad Sham, and he's Hozer to the same makom that he was the previous day. So just to summarize the derasha, Avraham Avinu wakes up in the morning, he's omed in the presence of God, and that Amidah is tefillah, and he's in the same makom that he was the previous day when he was omed in the presence of God. So therefore, if a person is kovea makom for his tefillah, like Avraham Avinu did, Elohei Avraham yeh be'ezro. That's the derasha. So for a couple of things, let me just tell you what the derasha doesn't mean. So the standard explanation, or the common explanation of the derasha, which I see especially among the more frum religious Jews, is that you have to be sitting in your seat in knis. That's kovea makom letfilato, and therefore you have to have the same seat all the time. And if you don't have the same seat all the time, you're in violation of this idea. I've seen situations in Knis, especially in Israel, among the Sephardim, but probably among the Ashkenazim. I didn't really pray that much with Ashkenazim, so I don't know what happens there. But among the black hat Shas type Sephardim, there is this idea that you have to be sitting in the same seat. So I've seen situations where somebody was sitting in somebody else's seat. There's a guest in the Knis, somebody obviously not usually there, he doesn't know where to sit, and then he gets humiliated in public. Gemara in Bava Mesiat Daf Nun Tet Amud Aleph. See what the Gemara says about Malbin Penei Havero Barabim. But the point is, the Gemara says they have to kovea makom letfilah. So if the Gemara says they have to kovea makom letfilah, I guess if somebody is sitting on my seat, that can be Malbin et Panav. And that's not a lot. I was once in a synagogue. I don't want to say which one. It was again Sephardic synagogue in Israel. And it was the holidays, and they sold the seats, and apparently there was a mix-up, and there was a new guy from America who just bought a seat, just got to the synagogue, and he bought a seat there, and the first time he sprayed there was Rosh Hashanah, Yom Adin, and apparently there was a mix-up, and it looks like the Knis sold somebody else's seat, and that somebody else was actually praying in the Knis. There was other seats to sit in, but he insisted upon that seat. Right. That's not the correct explanation. It doesn't say kol makom kol kovea kiseh litfilato. Makom. a place. So what does it mean? So I want to explain it in different ways, different layers, different levels. So it means a physical space. You can say that if you want to. And המקום אשר עמד שם, אברהם אבינו returns apparently to the same space. So if you're in a knis, you pray in the same knis all the time. כל הקובע מקום לתפילתו. Because the idea is that the tefillah requires proper kavanah. And in order to get to the situation of proper kavanah, you need to understand the space you're in. So let me give you an example, because it doesn't mean you have to be in the same space every single day. Let's say sometimes I pray in, I don't know, one knis in the morning, and then I pray another knis in the evening. It's not קובע מקום לתפילתו. So even the explanation I just gave doesn't really make perfect sense, does it? Right? Let's say now I pray in the morning in knis X in Oil David and Shalomo in Banana Beach. Let's say in the Mincha I go to Bet Torah. Okay, I'm in Bet Torah, I want to pray in Bet Torah. So I'm not קובע מקום לתפילתי, so it's not good. So even the second explanation is not exactly true. Let me explain to you what it means, כל הקובע מקום לתפילתו. It means that when you pray, you have to be קובע במקום. Meaning, you can't pray haphazardly. You need to see the place you're praying, and you have to understand that this place is suitable for prayer. So I'll give an example. Exaggerate. I'm in the forest, I'm hiking, it's time for mincha. I want to pray mincha. You don't just pray, you have to be קובע the makom that you're praying in. You have to check, is it clean? Is there maybe any dirt on the ground? Am I going to be are other people going to be walking by while I'm praying? So it's going to disturb me. There's a tree in front of me. I don't like praying in front of trees. Even though we don't, very few people believe in Asherah. Maybe some people do believe in Asherah. I don't know, but I don't like praying in front of trees because of Asherah. And there's no halacha, but I don't like praying in front of a tree. So I have to find out where I'm praying. So קובע מקום לתפילתו, because in order to pray properly, you need to make sure that the makom you're in is a proper prayer. It has to be makom kavua, in the sense that you know you can be here now and you're not going to be disturbed, right? So of course, a knis is קובע מקום לתפילתו, right? Even in the knis, by the way, if I'm in a place in the knis where people are talking, people are going to be talking, I'm going to be saying Amidah. I shouldn't be there, right? So קובע מקום לתפילתו. But now I want to go into the highest level, the deeper level, more sod. So Harambam in the Moreh Nevuchim in Halek Aleph, he discusses makom, the meaning of makom. I think it's maybe, I don't remember, maybe Perek Yod or Perek Tet. Okay, it's at the beginning of the Moreh. It's really not hard to find. Makom. And of course, makom means space. But he says makom also means a certain intellectual, a certain spiritual level, right? Memale mekom avotav bechokma ubirah. Is the son of, let's say, of the Chacham, is he memale mekom avotav bechokma ubirah? Is he at the same level? Their makom means level. What does that mean? So in order to pray properly, it's not just a question of the external makom around you, which of course the halakha is what I said. You have to make sure that where you're praying is a good place to pray. And when I said it's kol הקובע מקום לתפילתו, it's true. You should be קובע מקום for the tefillah. But also you need to be in the right headspace. Meaning, let's say, I don't know, somebody's watching TV, they're watching a football game. Okay, I have 2 minutes, I'm going to pray mincha, there's a commercial break. You can't just go from a football game to tefillah. That's not proper, right? You have to bring yourself to the right makom, right? So the idea of קובע מקום לתפילתו means that when you pray You're always kovea, the right makom. You always bring yourself up to the right spiritual level of tefillah. That's why Harambam says that when you pray, you have to imagine that you're in the shamayim. That means you have to be elevated intellectually and spiritually, so that now that your mind feels it's in the presence of God, and that's the omek of the pasuk. Elam makom asher amad sham et pene Adonai. Avraham Avinu went to the same makom, space, place, not place, but mental space, yes. He was, and because in that mental space, Avraham Avinu can feel the presence of God, and then the Ruach HaKodesh or the Nevuah comes to him. So in order to pray, you have to be like Avraham Avinu. You don't just pray. Hasidim Arishonim hayu shohin sha'a achat u'mitpalelim. Right? And by the way, this mental space is not even iyun, like we say, it's lo mitoch iyun. You can't pray mitoch iyun. That's a different mental space. For instance, like a second, a difficult gemara. That's one mental space. The mental space of the kavanah that you have to feel that you're in the shamayim is a slightly different orientation, right? That's called הקובע מקום לתפילתו. So it doesn't mean the specific seat you're sitting in the knees. It could be a knees. It could be several batei knesset that you pray in, right? It can be even if you're praying b'yachid, but you קובע מקום. But the most important thing is that if a person prays without the proper kavanah, he's not in the right makom, his tefillah is not a tefillah, right? So that's why Elohei Avraham yeh be'ezro, because he's praying properly, he's going to have the zechut that the same way God helped Avraham Avinu, the special hashgacha peratit, this hashgacha peratit will inure to the benefit of this individual.